Nature Travel Adventures, and I'm here with two of my favorite people. This is Amos Clifford and Christy Thomson, and they are both my mentors in my nature and forest therapy studies that I've done. Amos is the founder of Nature and Forest Therapy Association here in the United States, and Christy is a very big assistant in that program. I just met Christy last May in Georgia at an immersion, and they are both here in Colorado at the same time that my Nature Travel Adventures group is here in Colorado in Estes Park, and they are doing a nature immersion, forest immersion you call it.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell them what that's a little bit about, Clifford?
Yeah, well, what we do is Christy and I have a series of immersions that we offer in different places around the world, and we have a cycle of immersions that this will be news to you. When you complete the 4 core immersions and have a practicum, that's the Advanced Guide Certification Program. And the immersions focus on usually one aspect of what we cover in the guide training. So the guide training is very intensive. The week-long training is, there's just a lot of content that a guide needs to learn, and it requires a 6-month follow-up in a practicum, but we do a mentor practicum. Yeah. Christy's a trainer and a mentor in the training program for guides. We've trained 46 groups now. Yeah. We have
I was in group 4, and now they're on 46.
Cohort 4. And and we just finished one here in Colorado 2 or 3 days ago. And last time I counted, we have guides that we've trained now in 48 countries. And so this practice is really spreading very rapidly throughout the world. And the immersions, we look at a particular piece of that training. This one that we're doing now we call Houses of the Heart. And Houses of the Heart really looks at how do we cultivate and tune into the intelligence of our hearts in a way where the consciousness that resides in our hearts and in our bodies can really guide us. We can listen to that and let that connect us with the more than human world when we're in the forest, and listen to the invitations that are being offered to our hearts and follow those. So it's been a really beautiful process. We're just finished our first full day of it, and in our closing circles this evening, people were saying how profoundly transformative it was. I'm saying, wait a minute, hold your horses. We're only a day into it, because we'll see what they say at the end. Yeah, the other immersions we do one on Way of the Guide. So Way of the Guide is really the core philosophical foundation of how we work. We work with the guide archetype, and that means that the guide is someone who works in partnership with the more than human world. So this inquiry, how do we go into the forest and treat it as a partner and really learn how to let the forest do its part in a way we're not stepping on its toes or interfering with it. So we have a Way of the Guide coming up in California in November. Is it right, Christy?
Yes.
I have to look to Christy because she coordinates and organizes.
So anyone can go to these immersions. You don't have to be a certified guide to go to these immersions.
Yeah, thanks. They're usually about half certified guides and half other people. And the certified guides come because they're deepening their learning. The other people come because they just are really getting a really good benefit out of it. We have, in this one right now, we have a psychiatrist. It's her 3rd immersion with us, and she comes for her well-being. She said, I don't want to be a trainer. I don't do anything like that. And so we have people who are just doing that. It's also, if people are interested in checking out if they want to be a guide or not, it's a really good way to assess if it's a good fit for you.
So Christy, tell us about Colorado and what you like about it here.
Oh, goodness, what's not to love about Colorado? Look at that sunset. As I watch the sunset behind the ridge, right? So now, like today, for example, we took a forest therapy walk this morning just across a creek, between the creek and the Thomson River over in Estes Park, and there's this meadow that it's open, but yet there's these big boulders, and there's gorgeous ponderosa pines, and there's this, then there are plenty of the oh goodness, I just remembered. I just forgot the name of the lodgepole. The lodgepole of pines that have died and then they've fallen over. And so there's this incredible feeling of, there's this real death and rebirth feeling that happens in that space. And we took everyone out on a walk there, and it just felt like such a supportive place to be. So everywhere we've taken walks out here, I think there's just a lot happening geologically and in nature. Just there's flowers blooming in September, and so I think it's a really, really supportive place for this kind of work. So yeah, we will continue to come back.
Our
Because
first
of that.
Our first day we went over to a beautiful lake. It was so peaceful. And then the next day we were near a brook near the stream. So we had two different water elements that really lend themselves to different experiences for our group. So that was fun.
Want to ask us something, Neshi?
Neshi's filming for us today.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I do have a question. I have a question is, why do you feel that forest therapy works in the United States? Because I know it started in Japan with a lot of research. Why do you suppose it works in the United States so well?
I think that we are a people who have a long tradition of being connected to nature, and that tradition's been largely interrupted with increasing urbanization and disconnection from nature. I'm of a generation where, when I was raised, the kids ran free, and we spent time in the creeks and the mountains and the trails with very little parental concern or supervision, and that's not frequently the case anymore. And there's a lot of grandparents and a lot of parents who are remembering that and really wanting to reconnect, and we're seeing a lot more of that now, even with the younger kids. Particularly, what we're seeing in the younger generation is a huge awareness of and grief about the global climate catastrophe that's unfolding. And they're really looking for ways to become meaningfully involved in doing some work around this. And that was actually my main motivation for starting the Association of Nature and Forest Therapy Guides and Programs. My theory is that if we are in the kind of relationship with the more than human world where we see it as alive and as sentient and as not separate from us, then that supports us on a journey to wholeness, to our own wholeness. And when we become whole as a people, we'll be able to respond to what's being asked of us at these times we're in. We'll be able to respond to that in a way that's powerful and effective. So I think there's a visceral understanding of this. People are coming back to the forest in droves.
Right. Well, that's what attracted me, that's for sure. Christy, what's it like to be a woman involved in all of this?
Wow. Good question. Well, this is a woman-dominated profession. Strangely. I'd like to be a man.
Next question, then.
I feel like for us as women, I guess I'm going to speak for everybody, but mostly for myself, the word permission comes up a lot. And because I think so many of us are raised in this culture of we give and we give and we give, and self-care is shamed. And because of that, this practice has given me permission personally, I can't speak for everyone else, given me permission to take care of me for the first time, and to really live into who this is, and to really know who this is, right? Because we walk outside and we go on these walks, or I just do the practice by myself, where I go out and I will sit and I will just be in my senses, right? I will just sit there for 20 minutes a day. We call that sit spot. And I will feel and I will see and I will experience the world in a different way, in a slow way. And because of that, I've been mirrored. I see mirrors of myself and rocks and trees and the sky, the clouds, all of these things. They are mirrors of all the things that I'm feeling inside me. And I finally then have, right? I finally have words. And I finally have permission
Yeah.
to live into this part of who I am. And so that's, I guess, as a woman, as a man, it's probably the same, but yet, because it's a woman-dominated profession, that's how I feel like it has served me as a person, as a woman. It's just that big word, permission to be me.
Good.
So.
Great. Thank you so much. And so then we have to ask the same question then. What about the men?
It's a frustration of mine that more men don't show up. And I think part of it is that men may have the attitude, I'm not sure about this, but like, why do I need to be guided? You know, I know how to survive or whatever in nature. And this practice isn't anything about survival.
Right.
You know, it's really, one of the things I like to say is it's much more about being here than it is about getting there.
Right.
When I guide, 3 hours,
Yeah.
200 yards.
Yeah.
Max. I
Yeah.
probably did less than that today.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe 50 yards today. And
Yeah.
this is, in the way that men are raised in our culture, this is pretty much counterintuitive. There's
Yes.
nothing competitive about it. In many ways, there's nothing to achieve. The way we structure it is really to support exactly what Christy was talking about, this sense of permission to be, for each person to meet themselves as much as they are ready to on that particular day.
Right.
In whatever dimension of themselves they're ready to meet on that particular day. So a big part of the guide training is don't go out with any agenda for your people at all, other than to slow them down, get them into their bodies,
Yes.
get them into relationship with the forest, and let the forest do the work.
Yep.
And stay out of the
Absolutely.
way. And so this is, this is not like a, like a masculine engineering feat that we're doing. It's actually much more profoundly a feminine practice.
Very intuitive. Yes.
Yeah. So in the final moments here, last words, what would you like to leave with our audience, Minnie?
Just go out and reconnect. You know how to do it. It's in your DNA. It's in your DNA. Your
Yep.
body knows.
Yes.
Give yourself permission
There you go.
to go connect.
Yeah. Christy?
Oh my goodness. Watch the sunset. Just watch it. And allow yourself to just enjoy the feeling of needing to eat it up. Just
Yeah,
in every
yeah.
way.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. And Amos, could you hand him his book and so he can actually hold it? And
There you go.
Yeah, this is really a great little book, and it's been selling very well, for which I'm quite grateful.
Lots of languages.
It was the first one out, the forest bathing books, and there's a lot of them out now. About 6 of them are written by people who I've trained.
yeah.
It's really spreading. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to have this little book out there. Your Guide to Forest Bathing. And I think that for final words from me, there's so many to choose from. But one of the things that I love what Minnie just said is that it's in our DNA. And we often say when we're training guides that nature connection and culture repair happen together. We can't repair this culture without getting connected to nature. And to a certain extent, we can't get connected to nature without repairing the culture. So we're doing this work together. But here's the good news. It's not a huge reach when you're well guided. The gap's only that big.
Right.
Because it is in our DNA.
Yep.
And oftentimes one guided walk by any of the guides we've trained close that gap.
Right.
And then it becomes a practice of staying with that, staying in that connection. And so I just encourage people, go out with the trained guide, try it out, see what you think. Send me a letter, because I'm curious to know how it went.
Great. And where can they send that letter?
This is in your book. There we go.
Christy?
There's an email in the book and also on our website, which is natureandforesttherapy.org.
Right. And Minnie, where can they reach you if they would like to do forest therapy with you?
MinnieKansman.com.
Yeah? Excellent. Thank you, every single one of you, for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nesh.
All right. Bonjour, everybody. We'll see you soon. Here.
That was
Woo! Oh, we're still.